It isn't news to anyone that there are rich people and poor people in virtually every society. But should the fact that you are rich or poor determine whether or not you contribute your fair share to the general well-being of society? I think not. In our nation and all around the world, rich people do not pay the taxes that they should. This puts the economic weight on the shoulders of the middle and lower class. By voting in politics and supporting policies that you believe in, we can change things. So first, let's outline the issue here. In America, the wealth gap continues to grow. The Gini index, which is a relationship between household incomes in the nation, where 0 represents perfect equality and 1 represents perfect inequality. The 2019 article by the Associated Press from NBCnews.com stated that from the years 2017 to 2018, the Gini index number rose from 0.482 to 0.485. And this might not seem like a lot, but the sad part is it's following a 50-year trend. That's right, for 50 years, the Gini index has been slowly but steadily rising. So inequality has gotten worse and worse. And also on the global stage, things continue to get worse, and they are very bad at this point. A 2020 article from Oxfam International stated that the richest 1% have twice the wealth as 6.9 billion people in the world, and that doesn't seem right to me. This puts half of all human beings in society living at a daily spending allowance of about $5.50. So let's see how taxes factor into this inequality. So the issue is repetitive. People with more money find it easier to avoid taxes, and when they avoid taxes, they retain more money, and the effect is just cyclic. So how much money are we, the average Americans, missing out on? Well, despite what I said earlier about 1% having twice as much wealth, only 4% of the tax revenue comes from these wealthy people. So 2,800 billionaires have more money than 60% of the population. These insanely rich people are estimated to avoid 30% of their tax liability. So this inequality can be best seen through the lens of median household incomes. And 2020 data from the Pew Research Center showed us that there had been an increase for the upper class in median household income in 2001 to 2016, but a decrease in the middle and lower classes. The upper class had an increase of 33% of median net worth per household, and the middle class had a decrease of 20%, and the lower class had a staggering decrease of 45%. This is a classic example of how in America, having more money can create more money for you. So wealth inequalities are going in the wrong direction, and the effects are detrimental. The current tax system we have in place would work better if the rules enforced worked and people abided by them. Some people evade their taxes, tax evasion is what this is called, and many times they don't get caught. This is part of the reason that public services are underfunded, and James Ziliak said on page 23 in his book, Understanding Poverty Rates and Gaps, that since the 1990s, government programs like food stamps, school lunch, and the housing subsidies have been found to lower poverty rates. So it's no wonder that when assistance is provided to the poor, it's easier for them to make it out of their current situation. But without funding, this can't really happen, and because of people not paying their taxes, we don't have the funding. So page 180 of David Johnston's Divided the Perils of Our Growing Inequality, he outlines the current severity of our issue with inequality. He states, "Equality works, extreme inequality does not. Out of the grotesque opportunism that we've seen among owners of great wealth in the past 10 years has come a colossal waste of financial capital and human energy." So we can talk around it about why the richest people have most of the money and why there are so many people that don't have barely any. But the core matter of it is this: wealth distribution is the only way we can ensure the elimination of poverty and extreme wealth. And what's the best way to do this? Taxes. So, how can you personally change things? Well, the only way anything will change is if the average American, so that's you, takes a stand for themselves and pushes for new laws and actions. In the article I cited earlier from Oxfam International, it is stated that inequality is not inevitable. It is a political choice. Now, this is the mindset that we all need to have as we go forward. Actions being taken right now that could alter the quality of living include Biden's administration wants to enforce a global tax on corporations, and this could transform economies around the world, and this would definitely provide us some progress towards inequality. This could put an end to large corporations and wealthy individuals skating past tax laws and loopholes in the system. So by voting and supporting politicians and policies like we see here, we can change things in a positive way. So in conclusion, national and global inequality in economics isn't new, but it's definitely a problem that is getting progressively worse, with the richest people continuing to find ways to avoid taxes, the middle and lower class sink lower in finances. But it's not too late to change things. If we want to be the generation that changes the world, we must act now.